Today we hear from head track and field coach Michael Dunn. Coach, how excited are you to have meets to prepare for?
I actually never thought I'd hear that this indoor season. So hearing that is pretty incredible. Very much looking forward to giving our athletes the opportunity just to go out and compete, have fun doing what they've had a passion for, their entire lives.
What have you learned about your team in this preseason?
I think I've learned how much drive and really dedication it takes for each one of these student athletes to take on athletics as well as academics. Being involved in athletics when I was in college as well, it was always something that you looked at as, okay, we're doing a little bit more than like the average student. But with this whole COVID layer, it seems like it's just added an extra, you need to have an extra gear if you want to be able to get through that. And so I think the appreciation that the coaches have for these student athletes, and then I think the student athletes, the respect that they have for each other has definitely grown during this. And that's something that, every student athlete, regardless of the sport or school that they're at, I think they're all going to go through this and I think be that much more excited about the opportunities that they get with it, and also just how privileged they are to be able to be part of this kind of a thing.
How has the level of experience you have returning helped navigate this year?
Oh man, so our guys team, we've got a couple of experienced athletes, and they have definitely taken on a good layer of leadership. I would say we definitely have a good sized freshman group for both men and women. And that is the bulk of our team is freshmen this year for both sides. On our women's side, it is a really young team. I mean, I think we have 3 non-freshman kids on that team. And that's something where for our women, they're learning together. And so that development has been different than I think the guys team being able to say, hey, we've been through this last spring a little bit with outdoor. We can kind of work our way through it. But there's been a lot of, I think, learning for both the coaches and the student athletes of, how to navigate through all this. And each student athlete has been able to bring kind of their own character, their own personality, and their own leadership abilities, which is great. Being able to have the student athletes not just lead because they're a captain, but lead because, it's a different experience and maybe they're being able to deal with some of the stuff better. So it's nice to see that coming from kind of all areas.
With having a shortened season, does that affect your approach, or does your approach stay the same?
I think, you definitely have to adjust to what the playing field is or what the competitions look like. For the most part, I mean, right now we're doing as much as we can without training on a track right now. And I think for the student athletes to know the first time that they're going to get to see a track is that first meet of the season. I think we're adjusting maybe as coaches, not necessarily our expectations, because we do still want to be very competitive within our conference. We know that the training that we're doing is still high octane, and we're getting after it and everything. But the freshmen, they haven't seen an indoor track. Some of them never ran on an indoor track. And so just being able to learn through the first couple of meets, so hopefully by the time we get to that conference meet, they've had a little bit of that, track surface experience. I will say that going from what we're training on now to a track surface is going to make it better when we get to that track surface versus being already prepared for it. They're going to be quicker, they're going to be sharper, they're going to feel wearing spikes is a whole different ball game when you can do that. So grip is going to be much more exciting. And so I think there's a lot that the student athletes will be able to gain from just the first meet. But we definitely just, focus on 1 meet at a time right now, because we don't know how many you're going to get at the end of the year this year, right? So we're very much taking it 1 meet at a time and not necessarily focused on what the end goal would be at the end of the year.
And then finally, how will you measure success this season?
I think seeing these athletes grow just these first couple weeks has been exciting for our coaching staff to know, okay, I mean, we know how much these student athletes are going through right now, and to be able to see their growth in their events, on a real track, in kind of the environment that they're ready for. We want to see these freshmen be able to become sophomores with experience. We want to be able to see these sophomores become juniors with that little chip on their shoulder from what all this has kind of created for them. I definitely want, our seniors that we have on our team to be able to get the most out of this season, in a sense of feeling that it doesn't have to be the best race of their life. It doesn't have to be the best jump of their life necessarily. More so just along the lines of, I want the senior to graduate knowing that, they made it through this hectic, crazy year, and well, not quite a year yet, but year and change by the time we're done with, indoor, and just to be positive about how much they were able to fight through and how that's going to help them in the future, beyond athletics.